Hello, everybody. First, I want to thank all of our viewers who may be watching this, and I want to thank anybody who's not a viewer yet, or just a potential supporter. I'm going to take a little bit of time to quickly talk about what the digital craft is, what this video series is, and what overall what we're looking for funding for. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible, so we don't bore people. The digital craft was originally put together by myself. It was originally intended to be an actual homeschool academy for teaching homeschool children how to do web design and development and things like that. However, at the time, me being new to my business and all that, I was just too busy and didn't really know enough to put together the funds, and just not enough time anyways in general. So I went ahead and focused on my business, which I still own my business. I tend to work for myself now, or whatever team I can put together depending on the job, to sum up my skills in these areas. I've done everything from directing a network television show to post-production and video. I've done audio recording, web development, web design, graphic design. I'm a musician, and I don't tell you all these things to make myself seem like I'm a know-it-all. I'm just kind of a sponge, and idle hands and all. So when I have time, I learn more things. When I see something I want to learn, I learn it. When I find new ways to make money, not necessarily for the money, but ways to make money. When I was younger, just to survive. But now, as a family man, father and husband, to support my family, and to keep my hobbies alive. I still play in several bands. I compose music and things like that. But mostly for the last at least 4 to 5, maybe 6 years, I've been mainly doing web development, which, just to be clear, that's pretty much programming for the web. This website, The Digital Craft, and our YouTube channel has kind of taken off. I just started doing these videos when I had free time between clients, and there was a moment about a year maybe or more ago where I had several months where there wasn't really any work coming in, not enough to keep me busy, and I had this website that was originally supposed to be just a kind of informational website and registration point for my academy that I wanted to create, yet it was really just sitting there. I thought it was a neat name, and so I went with it and created the YouTube channel, and thought, I need to keep up my chops. I need to keep with current technology. One of the worst things for somebody in my field who's a freelancer, or in my field in general, is when you don't have any work to do, you can get stale, and you can fall behind really quickly. And so I could either make up a bunch of fake projects or things for me to do to keep me busy, or I could do what I did, and I started making these videos. And I had no idea that they would actually get popular. I was really doing them to, just offer back to the community what I had taken from the community. I had learned a lot from free tutorials and free videos more in my later life, but even as a kid, just text tutorials, things like that. You couldn't really watch video on the internet back when I was using the internet and first started learning, but either way, there were free resources out there. and or just books. I'd read books to learn how to do things and program and stuff like that. The degree I hold right now actually doesn't have much to do with anything I do for a living. I've left the graphic design field for the most part. However, I love teaching graphic design. I love teaching the tools like Photoshop and things like that, which I know probably better than any other tool available in the computer. Photoshop is the only one I would consider myself as somewhat of a guru with. So I love teaching with Photoshop. I love mixing my knowledge of Photoshop and graphic editing programs along with web development and design. That kind of sums up my experience really fast. I didn't want to waste time talking about myself. I just wanted to give you an idea of what I know and where all these videos are coming from. I write them all. I am bringing in some new people to try out, to make some more videos with some different content, things I don't know how to do and I want to learn how to do, so I'm going to watch their videos. But one of the things we try to do that's really important, some people like it, some people don't, but the majority of the responses I have gotten are positive, so I keep with it, and my videos go at a pace where anybody can follow along. Unlike this video here where I'm trying to speed through it so I don't go on for an hour. I take the time to speak clearly and not necessarily slow, but at a pace where people can catch up and keep up, and don't necessarily have to pause the video as often to kind of catch up on their screen and do what the tutorial says. They can actually follow along. Along with that, I teach at a level where I tend to do these start to finish series where I teach you how to go from knowing really nothing at all, or at least the very, very basics, to knowing how to do things at least entry professional level. I wouldn't say that everybody can walk out of here watching one of my videos and be a professional that by any means. That's all up to them. But I give them the tools and the knowledge to think like a professional and to go from there. And you know, that's kind of my goal. But at the same time, the videos are acceptable for professionals to watch, whether it be someone like me who maybe I had to take a year off from doing what I was doing, and I do lose my chops, and I need to catch up. Watching some of these series are built in a way where you can handle watching them and learn. Maybe you don't need to learn as much as the person who's brand new, but the knowledge gained is equally as important. And what we're doing right now and what we're trying to get funding for is this is more my passion than working in the field. I've been working in the field in various different versions of it, you know, whether video, audio, web, whatever, for half my life. Over 15 years or so, I've been at least doing something professional, even as a kid. And I've always wanted to teach more than anything, and I don't have a degree for teaching college, and nor do I think that college is totally necessary for you to learn a trade. It may be necessary to get a job at this point, but overall, to me, the knowledge is what's most important. Whether you, and these videos are good for people who are a student, want to be a student, or don't have the means to go to college. Either way, they teach you how to do something that you're going to learn in school. And one thing I try to teach that you don't necessarily learn in school is I teach industry things. I teach you experience that I've had. I teach you how to handle clients, tips and tricks to avoid certain pitfalls and mistakes. I just recently started running a vlog where I sometimes just talk about random stuff, also talk about the ins and outs of dealing with things like that, with retainers, money, just client relations in general, and organization. So, long story short, the videos that we're trying to get funding for right now is a series. It's the start of a series called Building a Dynamic Website from Start to Finish. We have a series I've already done called Building a Website from Start to Finish, and that was based more on the design aspect of things. And I kind of cut that one off at 22 videos or 22 lessons because we started getting into a more advanced and less design-oriented topics. So I kind of made a decision at that point to not necessarily start over. Both of the series are important, especially if you're new at this. You should watch one and then watch the next. But what I wanted to do different with the dynamic one, from learning and watching the comments and responses from the first one, because that's what we call it, either the original or the first series. From watching that and seeing what people have said about it and asking for requests to talk about certain other topics, what I've decided is we're going to create a dynamic website that includes a CMS, which is a content management system, and then two semi-basic components, a blog and a photo gallery. And instead of kind of stopping there or overdoing those two components and dragging this out, what I want to do is I want to stop the series in a sense once we've got all that put together. And then what we have is we have a CMS that we can expand upon. We've all built it together. I've shown you how to do it, and we've all got about the same, depending if people have veered off and done their own thing a little bit or not. But either way, we've got the same core website going on here. And so then what I would do, instead of making 20 videos in total just for that series, what we'd do is we'd start making add-on videos. Start working on more components we can add to it. So then the sky's kind of the limit. I don't have to put an end to the series. So that's kind of where this funding comes in. I want to get back to the point where I can start paying more attention to feedback, responding to people on within a time frame that makes sense. We need more funding for the free hosting I offer, which that is something that I offer. I pay for hosting and allow people to set up accounts on it for free as long as they're students. And I go on the trust system there. So basically I want to take at least the next 2 months to 3 months and put 100% focus, or at least the focus that would be my work time, my time finding development jobs and doing those development jobs. I want to take all that time and focus it on the digital craft and these videos. I want to get them out consistently. I don't want people waiting for a video to come out. I want people to continue to learn, and I don't want them to get to lesson 7 and then get used to them coming out every other day or so, and then all of a sudden I get busy with work and you don't see another video for another 2 months. Not only does that hurt me as far as followers, viewers and things like that, but it hurts the person, the viewer in general, because they got somewhere. They may stick around, which a lot of people have stuck around. A lot of video viewers have stuck around when I get busy. They do come right back, and that's awesome. I love it. I love seeing that. But even those people, it's harmed them because they've learned all this stuff, and then 2 months later they've got to try to figure it out again and remember where we left off, and that's not fair to them. It's almost like a sitcom that you expect it to be on at 7 o'clock every Thursday, and then all of a sudden a football game comes on and it's more important and your show's not on, you're disappointed. You rely on that, and people wouldn't watch that network as much if they didn't, if they couldn't rely that their show was going to be on every week. It's kind of the same idea. But ultimately, I just want to immerse myself in this. And once we get that under control, I want to go back to my original idea and start focusing also on education for children as far as homeschoolers go, like middle school and high school kids. And almost as important as that, I want to work with continuing ed adults and spend time with them and put together courses for them. And that's further down the road, but just to show you that my plans continue. The more funding we get, the longer I can keep doing this, and the longer I can stay away from having to go out and get more development work, which I might miss at one point, but I don't miss now. I've always wanted to be a teacher, and as long as I can continue to get funding, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to continue to always make my tutorials free. Private lessons, things like that, are not free, but available. And then soon we'll hopefully start having some actual lectures and labs and things like that people can enroll in. But the tutorials, whether video or text, will always be free. The site's going to be free to be involved in. And all in all, I'm just asking for my subscribers to help out if they can. And if they don't have the means to come up with enough cash, because even if it's $5, we've got 3,000 subscribers right now. I don't expect every one of them to toss money my way, but anybody that can help out and put towards the campaign financially would be great. But even more so, if you know people that do have money they put towards good causes and such, please spread the word to your friends and your family, and let's try and get this thing funded, and then I can continue to keep doing this. The longer, like I said, the more we raise, the longer I can do this, and the more consistent the content will be, and that's exciting to me. Thank you guys, and let's see how we do.